Okay, recording is now in progress. So we're going to be starting with, how about this one is the playlist? The first song is Shanti Pisa. We'll get started 5, 4, 3, 2, and you can press your start buttons. So just take a moment to settle in. So find a comfortable position. Settle down through the sit bones, trying to make your way into a comfortable position. And sometimes that takes a minute or two, and give yourself that moment. I like to take my inner thighs up here. That's the way that I settle in. I'm going to take a nice big inhale together. And as we exhale, just feel the weight of the body kind of descend down. Feel it moving down through kind of the back side of the body, dropping the sit bones and the tailbone a little deeper into the earth. Let's do that a few times. So exhale or inhale regularly or normally, but feel the weight of the body descend on the exhale. One more time. And notice if you do feel any more grounded. And I usually do. You know, it gives you a little bit more of this feeling of place. So from that feeling of place now, or that foundation, as you inhale, feel yourself lengthening up and out of that foundation. So you root down to rise up. And now just focusing on the breath moving in and out of you. If it feels okay to close your eyes, close your eyes. Notice how the breath moves through you and where it's showing up. You know, is it in your nose? Do you feel it more moving through your belly? Do you feel it through the lungs? Do you feel all of them? Is it following my cues? It's interesting to, you know, just notice how we can find a little bit more of this breath moving through. And how it's moving through and how it's feeling. Also begin to notice other little qualities about yourself. You know, how the day has kind of shown up on your body. You don't have to make the commentary, just notice it. Is there any areas that feel like they're jumping away? Are there areas that feel super grounded? Is there any areas that feel tight or, you know, really amazingly like just completely dropped into this amazing breathing practice? Just notice. Let's get started just doing a little neck work. So you can take your right ear over towards your right shoulder. And start to draw the head back ever so slightly. You can take your left hand if you want onto the left shoulder. You can draw the chin a little forward now, kind of moving the head a little bit back and forth. You can drop the chin down towards the right shoulder. Back up towards the ceiling. Move that way a few times on your own. I always like to bring my right hand to my head just to help lift up the head. Just to make you realize the head's kind of heavy and, you know, we do overwork our neck. So that's a nice way of just giving yourself a little extra love. Taking the opposite ear now to the opposite shoulder, and here again you can stay, or if you want you can take that right hand and just rest the hand on the shoulder as you draw the head back. And then a little forward, kind of moving through the back of the ears as we nod in this kind of slanted yes. Coming back to neutral, take the chin down towards the shoulder now. And then moving through this slanted no a few times. And once again, we're just going to take that head and help lift it up. Take the shoulders up to the ears, create a little tension, and with a great big exhale, once you've kind of held in a little tight, let it go with a great big the other leg on top. We'll just start to reach the hands forward as we come into a nice little stretch through the hips, lengthen the back of the ears towards the fingers. And as you press the fingers down, maybe feel the belly button draw back a little further back. Start to walk your hands over towards the left, resting your belly on your left thigh. Really pressing that right sit bone down into the floor. And then walking back through center, we'll move right to the second side. We'll walk back through center one last time, and this time just slide the hands back behind you. We'll slide the legs forward. Loop the shoulders here, plant the hands down, and just give your upper back a little stretch, lifting the heart up towards the sky. Trying your best not to pull the bottom ribs with the heart up. Beautiful. And come back up, we'll take off our socks, and we're gonna get right to the front of our mats now. Okay, so settling in, feeling the four corners of your feet kind of dropping into the floor. Rolling to the outsides of the feet, feeling the outer edges, rolling to the inside of the feet. Rolling back through both, planting the toes down. Take your hands to your hips and just feel the weight of your body again here. Dropping down through the hips, through the four corners of your feet. Here again, as you start to feel that foundation get a little stronger, can you feel yourself rising up and out of it? As I start to lengthen, I feel my abdominals or my lowest abdominals engage. I hope that you get that same feeling. And stretch those arms up over the head. Grab hold of the right wrist. Again, we're going to lean ourselves back against that magic wall as we just give ourselves a nice little stretch up and over to the left. If you want here, if it feels okay, you can bend the left knee, drawing the right hip out a little farther to the right. Still resting your head and your right shoulder on that magic ball. That magic ball that's never there and is always there. Just to give us a little idea, straight. All right, we're going to inhale, come back up. Release the hands. Give yourself a nice big circle. Another. This time as we lift up, we'll grab hold of the left wrist. Lean ourselves up against that wall. And start to stretch up and over to the right.
Here again, if you want to bend the right knee a little bit and draw that left hip out a little bit more to the left, you can. And be mindful, are you doing it because it feels good or because you think it's deeper? And only work to make it feel good, especially at the beginning of practice. One more deep breath here. Inhale all the way back up. And again, some circles. 1 and 2. And 3. This time we'll lift the arms up over the head. Feeling the feet press down, reach up. And let's just fold ourselves forward. You can round down, you can hinge down, but as you make your way down, let the back of the neck lengthen to the floor. As we inhale, let's come into a flat back here, Ardha Uttanasana, and kind of imprint, lengthening the head and the tail away from each other and feeling the bottom is not drawing back into the body to round the body, but just to take some of that extra arch out of the mid-back. From here, we'll lengthen back down towards the floor and fold. Press into the feet and we'll come all the way back up again. Palms are going to touch. Hands are coming to the heart. Let's do it again. Sweep up, arms overhead. And we'll fold forward. And again, you can round down, you can hinge down, whatever makes more sense. Go for it. Lengthen into your flat back just for a breath. And then back down. And you may notice you went probably right back to that same spot. So that's the imprinting all the way back up on your inhale, palms overhead. Exhale, hands to the heart. We'll move on now. Sweep the arms up, palms together, we're looking up. And as we exhale, we're folding forward. Coming up into a flat back. Let's find the hands down. We're going to step ourselves back into plank pose. And just set yourself for plank so that you have the beginnings of your downward facing dog. And just roll to the back of the heel. Stretch out to the back of the legs here. Roll off your feet, come forward, come into plank again. And we're going to lower ourselves to the floor. So you know you can tap the knees down. Feel the head going forward as the elbows draw back and slowly coming down, feeling all of your fingers connect to the floor. Inch your hips back in space. Plant the tops of the feet. And as you press the pelvis down, take the arms off the floor and let's start to lift up, feeling that back starting to warm up. And then plant the hands back down and take yourself a little higher up, feeling the work of the back. Beautiful. Exhale, roll back down, press hands and knees into the floor. We're coming back up. And let's come into a little cat and cow here. So back and forth. You can walk your hands back so that they're more underneath your shoulders as you start to move back and forth. Trying to find yourself moving in that nice and fluid spine, moving like liquid almost. Completely in sync with the breath. Noticing at the end of the breath, you're also at the pause of the breath. Or the pause, end of the movement, you're at the pause of the breath. That's what I meant to say. But it didn't come out right the first time. Beautiful. All right, making your way back up and into downward facing dog now. Start to walk our feet forward towards the front of the mat. We'll toe heel the whole way up. Come up onto your fingertips or onto your blocks to make it easier. And then we'll fold again. Pressing down to the floor, we'll roll ourselves up, arms up over the head, palms together. Exhale, hands to the heart. Beautiful. Again. And as we move through our sun salutations, folding down now, lengthening into your flat back. We'll take our right leg back this time. And the back knee doesn't have to come to the floor, but it can. You can start to inch the foot back a little bit farther so the sole of the foot is more parallel perpendicular to the mat than on an angle. So that way we can start to pull the legs towards each other and feel the hips or the hip flexors starting to get a little bit more of a stretch. You can move up and down like this, or you can rock a little bit from side to side. Excellent. We'll plant our hands again, step that left leg back, here again in plank pose. You know you can tap your knees down, but you don't need to. Roll yourself forward, bend your elbows, and slowly come down to the mat. Inch your hips back, take your arms off the floor, lift yourself up, engage those back muscles, lengthen the back of the ears forward, belly in, then plant your hands down, roll up a little higher. This time go a little bit higher, even really high. Exhale, roll back down. We press hands and knees into the floor as we come up. And here again, moving through cat and cow, but in the opposite direction. So if you inhale up into cat, exhale up into cat. And it's always nice to know, because we always usually do the same thing all the time. It's nice to move in the opposite direction or in a different flow. Noticing that it has similarities and differences. You definitely learn something new about yourself when you switch up your breath. Let's make our way back up and into downward facing dog. And let's just take our right leg forward. As we once again wiggle that back leg back a little, so the foot is now perpendicular to the floor, pull the legs towards each other, and start to move into that hip flexor up and down, and side to side. Excellent. All right, I'm going to plant the hands or walk the hands a little forward, step that back leg forward as we fold. Pressing into the floor to roll yourself up. Keep rooting down as the arms lift. Try to pull the sides, or don't pull them back, but notice that the ribs do want to go forward. We want to keep the body straight. You can look up though, hands to the heart. Heart up into the hands as you inhale. Keep the heart lifted, but let's release the hands and take a moment in our mountain pose, just feeling ourselves get strong before we move into some sun salutations that are a little bit more challenging. One more big breath. And exhale. Let's go. Inhale, look up, palms together. Exhale, we're hinging from the hips as we fold forward. Coming up into your flat back. Now bend your knees, plant your hands, and if you can let's walk back from this first one into plank. Lean yourself a little forward, and we'll come down this time into chaturanga. Holding your chaturanga for 3, and 2, and 1. Slowly lower yourself down, feel the shoulders loop, make your way up into cobra. If it feels okay to come up into upward facing dog, here's your chance. Exhale, downward facing dog. And set your feet. If you don't feel right in your dog, you can always do your plank again just to find your position, because that is your recipe for the proper downward dog positioning. See if the heels can drop down towards the floor. Let's bend our left knee and drop our right heel down just a little bit more. Get a stretch to the back of that right calf. You want to wag the tail over a little bit more towards the right. That'll also give you a little bit of the right stretch. Come back up through center and to the second side. Beautiful. And then back up again. And we'll drop both heels to the floor. Let's take our right leg, bring it forward. And this time we're going to drop that back knee to the floor as we sweep our arms up. As we exhale, let's take those arms and open them up. You're feeling like as if there's some weight drawing the forearms back and some weight pulling the heart a little forward. So we can get the shoulder blades coming towards each other. Beautiful. And if it feels okay, you can slide those arms back over your head, palms facing each other now. Exhale, both hands to the floor. Step back. Come down. Through vinyasa, maybe upward dog, maybe cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog. Take that left leg now forward. We'll drop the right knee to the mat as we sweep our way up into a lunge. I'll flip my direction so she can see from here. So we lift up. And then the forearms bend and feel as if they're being pulled back as the heart reaches up. See if you can notice if the heart is lifting off the bottom ribs, we're trying to lift. And again, we want to not lose our power here. We want that energy to be risen from the heart. From here, we'll bring those forearms together, sweep the arms back up over your head. Exhale, both hands to the floor. Step that back leg forward. Here we are again at the front of our mats and Uttanasana. Lengthen flat back. And then release a little bit, leave a little lower to the mat. Press down, rise all the way up, arms overhead. Hands to the heart. Go again, look up, palms together. Just warming ourselves up with lots of sun salutations today. Lengthen into a flat back. Hands back down, we'll plant them. This time if you want to shoot your legs back and bend, coming right into each other under, you can. We'll roll ourselves to cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog. Walk our feet together. Beautiful. We're going to press down to the left leg. We'll take that right leg off the floor and we'll start to reach that leg up, up, up behind us. And then let's bring it forward, kind of looking at hanging a little hanging plank. Push the hands down, round and the back a little bit, lift that leg up. Lift the knee up, lift the heel up. Inhale, we'll sweep that leg back up. And then take it forward towards the right thumb. So we're going to make our way all the way up. And here, as we kind of lean our head and shoulders back against that magic ball, we're going to be coming down, kind of stretching the hips a little bit, stretching that quad. So come down low. And inhale, sweep up. And this is a balance. This is this does a lot of stuff. Let's see if it's feeling good. 3, we're doing 5. 5 doesn't work for you, do 1 more and take as much time as you need for us that we do the other 3 in, right? It doesn't matter how many you do, it's that you're just trying. Beautiful. Let's take our right hand onto the right knee. We'll take that left hand to the floor. And start to spin the left ribs over towards the right inner thigh. Slide that right hand up to the shoulder. Lift up the elbow, look down if it feels good for the neck. Look up if the neck feels like it wants to work a little harder. You can reach that arm up in the air. Beautiful. Pinky finger starts to reach forward and down. And then feel the inner arm, inner right arm, inner left leg reaching towards each other as the hand and foot reach away. Beautiful. Take that hand back down towards the floor. Press down, take that right leg all the way back up behind you. And then we're going to come forward into a hanging plank. But with the leg just back behind us now. Now from here, if you want, you can either put the foot down or lower. Chaturanga with 1 foot and then all the way to the floor. Release the left leg, move the shoulders, come up. Cobra. Upward dog. Downward dog. Take a nice big inhale. And then exhale through the mouth. 1 more. Take that left leg now, we're going to lift it up and back behind us. And then come forward, hanging plank, drawing that knee in towards the chest, rounding the upper back, knee comes in, heel comes in. One more breath here. And then we'll sweep that leg all the way up and back again. And forward towards the left thumb. Start to make our way up into a lunge. Here again, we'll move 5 times up and down, kind of sliding the head, the shoulders, the back, down that wall. Trying to hold our balance here, which is a challenge sometimes. Yeah. Beautiful. Now we'll stay down here. We're going to take our left hand onto that knee, right hand comes to the floor as we come into a twist. The right ribs are drawn over towards the left inner thigh. From the back heel, we lengthen out to the crown of the head. You can slide your left hand up to the shoulder. And then if it feels okay to float that arm up, you can. And if you find that that's just pulling the shoulder, you feel any sensations in the back of the shoulder, bring your hand back to your top of the shoulder. I'm going to take that arm now, if it is over the head, over the head. And reach it away from the heel, upper arm, upper thigh, drawing towards each other, spin. Beautiful, we'll take that hand back down towards the floor. Press down, we're going to take that leg all the way back and up. 3-legged dog again, drop the right heel towards the floor. And then we're coming forward into 3-legged plank. The leg back behind us. Maybe 3-legged chaturanga if that feels okay. Then all the way to the mat, inhale up through cobra. Maybe upward dog. Exhale, downward dog. Pedaling up the heels again. And we'll take a little extra time dropping that left heel down. Drawing the tailbone or the tail over towards the left. Switch it up. And back and forth a few times. Dropping both heels to the floor. Inhale, roll forward into plank one last time. We're going to come all the way down to the mat. And start to inch the hips back in space, plant the tops of the feet down. Feel the sacrum kind of lengthening down towards the heels. And then let's lift our head and our shoulders up as they're flying. And your arms can be out to the side. For more work, take your arms up over your head. Swim the arms back. Belly in, sides of the waist in. And coming either halfway forward or all the way forward, depending on what you chose. 2. 3. 4. And 5. Let's bring those arms back, lift them up. Come up a little higher, maybe lift the feet up. Bend the elbows, plant the hands, loop the shoulders into place. Roll yourself up to cobra or upward dog. Exhale, downward dog. Take a nice big inhale. Exhale through the mouth. One more inhale. And just exhale out all the exhaustion. Fill yourself up with some energy. Lift up the heels as you inhale, exhale, bend the knees. Find a little bounce in your step and use it to hop yourself forward as you lengthen into a flat back. Exhale, fold. Beautiful. Plant the feet as we lift all the way up. Root to rise. Palms together. Exhale, hands to your heart. As the next one's a nice little balance. So we're going to take our arms, inhale, lift them up. And exhale down. Now we're going to just start with the arms. And we're going to start to lift our right knee up.
it down. 3 times just like that. Now this time as we lift it up, we're going to keep it there, but our arms are going to come underneath. Inhale up. And hands come under. Now if you want, as the hands come under, you can stretch the legs straight. So, I'll show you in this direction. Both the inner thighs are still reaching back behind you. We have one more here, and we're going to pull that leg back. Here, head back, shoulders back, right outer hip, trying to make its way back down towards the floor. Hold. And then we're going to sweep that leg all the way back behind you. So as the leg scissors the left leg, reach the heart forward. We'll come into warrior 3. Your hands can stay at your heart, or you can rest your hands on your left thigh. Try to think of the eye of the right hip looking down. And then keep stepping back. Take a big step as you come into a high lunge here. We exhale, we'll sweep the hands down, back behind us. Inhale, we'll sweep back up. 1. 2 more like that, belly in. Trying to find a straight line as we swing ourselves to the center of the mat. As we come up this time, let's open ourselves up, and we're coming into warrior 2. So just notice where your shoulders are, notice where your heart is. Try to reach your heart out through your fingers. Notice if your both feet are equally rooted into the floor and have equal weight through them. So a lot of times we have way more weight in that front leg. Now we're going to see if we can sink a little lower into our warrior 2. And one more time, nice. Drop the back hand as we make our way into a little exalted warrior. Back through your warrior. Unplug that back heel. High lunge. Hold your lunge. On your next exhale, we'll make our way back down to the floor and through it. And also, whatever that means to you, if you're getting tired, you know you can just come into downward dog. Nice big inhale. And a big exhale through the mouth. Super sigh. Inhale with the heels. Exhale, bend the knees. Create a little momentum. Make your way back to the front of the mat. Lengthen into a flat back and fold. As we bring down to the feet, we rise up tall. Arms come up. Exhale, the hands come down. 2. And 3. Okay, getting ready to add the leg. So the inseam of the left leg lifts up. Pressing the inseam of the right leg down, we tap down. Inhale up. Down. Last time like this. And this time we keep that leg up and just the arms move. Hands come underneath the leg. Inhale, we sweep it up. They can also come forward and you can stretch that leg straight, touching underneath. 2. 3. 4. Outer left hip trying to readjust itself so it's level with the right one. 5. And here we hold. So I'm just going to spin so I'm this way now. Pull those inner thighs back. Soften through that standing leg so it doesn't feel locked. And then once, if you feel ready, hands to the heart. And we scissor the left leg back as the head comes forward. Keep the eye of the left hip looking at the floor, lengthen out from head through heel. Gonna tap that left leg back pretty far as we make our way up into a lunge. Let's add those swings, taking the arms down towards the floor. Inhale up. And down. Up. This is our last one. And then we'll open ourselves up. And we're coming into warrior two. So if you could lean up against that wall, can you also feel those bottom ribs finding their way back on the wall? Keep the inseam of that right leg reaching towards the center of that foot. Notice if both feel equally rooted, equally balanced, the weight. And then start to sink a little lower. A little lower. Drop the back hand as we make our way into a little bit of salty warrior. Lift the heart. Beautiful. Back through your warrior two. And we will make our way back through the front and to the mat. Let's just step our back leg forward this time instead of moving through vinyasa. And of course, if you did move it through vinyasa, I'll give you an extra second. We'll hang out here in our forward fold, maybe holding onto our elbows. And you can also kind of move around those elbows a little bit, stretching out to the sides of the ribs a little bit more if that feels good. Release our hands to the floor as we bring the toes together, heels together. And we're going to bend our knees as we sweep ourselves up and into Uttanasana. Pull the sides of the ribs back with the heart up, breathe. Exhale, we'll fold forward. Moving through vinyasa again, and you've had enough vinyasa, just wait, walk yourself back into downward facing dog. Coming back into downward dog, we're going to step into warrior one pose. So let's take that right foot forward, left heel to the midline, left arm reaches forward as the right arm finds its way to that left heel, left hip, sorry. Lengthen. And then feel the back of the heart being pulled back as the front knee feels it being pulled forward. See, and that keeps the hip in line. We'll release that right hand as we make our way up into warrior one. Beautiful. Back down to the mat. And through your vinyasa. Moving to the second side, that left leg comes forward as the right heel finds its way to the midline. We reach forward with the right arm, grounding that right foot. Left hand encouraging that left hip to stay forward. And then keeping that position as you make your way up. Once up, the hip knows to stay. And both hands can come up over the head. And I find that once you do that once, and we'll do this one more time through, you'll see you don't have to bring your hand to the back of the hip for it to know to kind of spin itself a little forward. Let's try. Hands to the mat. Through vinyasa. Right side. One more breath. And then moving to the second side. Beautiful. We're going to make our way back down to the floor. Step back into plank. And lower all the way down to the mat again. Once again, and then inching those hips back. So trying to lengthen the pelvis.
That way you can really feel that pelvis pressing down. And for me, because my belly loves to do the work here, it just gives me one more reason to, or one more way to find grounding through that pelvis. So again, you can get the arms out to the side, back behind you, or forward. And this time, if you want to add the legs here, you can. Swing the arms back, feet together. Arms out to the side or forward, legs apart. A little swimming. One more set. Lifting up, holding, bringing the palms up. Bending the elbows, bringing the palms right back underneath the breast. We roll up cobra, maybe upward dog. Exhale. Downward dog. So adding a little twist, you may want to walk your hands back a little bit. Feel the left shoulder stay in the girdle, slide that right hand out to the outside of the left leg, come into a twist. Switch sides, plant that right hand now. Left hand comes to the outside of the right leg, twist. Excellent. And then we'll come back to center. We'll lift our heels up nice and high as we inhale, bend the knees, create a little momentum, make your way back to the front of the mat. Then get into a flat back. And exhale, fold. Bend your knees as you sweep up into Uttanasana. Exhale, hands to the heart, Tadasana. Okay, let's do one last sun-B, adding the rest of the standing poses we're doing today. So bend the knees, sweep yourself up through Uttanasana. Exhale, fold forward. Again, as we move through our vinyasa, feel free to skip it. Now we'll start with warrior one, so taking that right foot forward, spinning right again, up into that warrior one, feeling that hip still knows to face forward, look at that. And then we'll open ourselves up and come into warrior two. Let's take our hands onto our front thighs and make our way in towards Parsva. So right elbow to right knee to begin. Back foot anchored. So notice a lot of times, because so much weight is in this front leg, the whole body's here. But if you anchor that back leg and lengthen, the pose gets lighter. And it gets easier to find the relationship between the left hand and left foot as one roots down and one reaches away from it. If you want here, if it's available to you to slide that left hand or right hand down towards the floor, go for it. Can you also find that your head and that left shoulder are starting to make their way back to that magic wall behind you as the right buttock tucks under? Beautiful. So we're going to put some weight into that anchor leg as we make our way back up. Take the back hand down as we stretch the right leg, right arm and right leg straight. And may as well come up and over it into triangle pose because it's such a lovely, lovely place to hang. So press down to the big toe mound of that right foot. Also, instead of putting the weight of your right hand into the shin, like pushing down, think of the shin pressing into the hand to lengthen the torso a little bit more forward. Your gaze is up at the hem of the ear unless it bothers the neck.
And then look down, and also notice if your forehead is lower than your chin, your head hurts, your neck hurts. So you can lift it up and find a little bit more comfort. All right, again, we're going to anchor into that back leg as we make our way back up. Let's straighten that front leg, coming into 5-pointed star, reaching up through those arms. Start with some circles in those arms. 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Switch directions. Thirteen, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Now hold. And just reach. Try to see if you can start to feel the muscles in those upper arms hugging the bone, creating definition and strength and power. One more here we're going to do is just turn the palms up and down, up, down. 3, 4. This is good work for the wrists, like for chaturanga and such. It's also just, good for texting. We use our hands way too much. It's a good way of kind of building up a little strength. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Beautiful. We're going to hinge from the hips as we fold. Come up into a flat back and start to move those legs a little bit, get into the inner groins, pulling the left foot towards the right as we bend our right knee. Coming back forward, switching sides. First side again. And second side. All right, let's make our way back to the front of the mat. And through a vinyasa. We're going to take our left leg forward for warrior 1. Inhale, sweep yourself up. Open up warrior 2. So here again, as we move towards Parsva, anchor that back heel. We'll start with the hand on the knee. Or the forearm on the knee, and keep the forearm, keeping that knee centered, right? That's one of the greatest things about having this position, is it gives you a lot of supports. So from here again, you can root down to that back leg and just reach that right arm away from that right foot. And if that works and you want more, you can always slide the hand down. Notice if you have lost the power of that back leg. So if you've lost your anchor, the pose starts to collapse. So you want to find that anchor and lift up and out from it. 2 more breaths here. Then make our way back up. And stretch that front leg straight as we make our way through a little reverse triangle pose. Up and over. To try. We can hang out. Open ourselves to all this expansiveness, the arms to the legs, finding your way back to that space behind you to open the heart up towards the hand in the air. And again, you're looking up at that hand or looking down, depending on how it feels in the neck, and your chin is a little lower than your forehead. Press the shin into the arm to lengthen that torso a little bit more. Beautiful. And then we're gonna make our way all the way back up. Spin that foot over 5-pointed star. Do a little bit more. Pretend we are, what are they called? People that lead in planes. Out to the side, together, palms together, open, push down. Arms together, arms up, push down. Switch directions, up, forward, open, up, forward, open. Two more. And then let's bend those elbows, bring the palms together, and open. Close. Try to draw the shoulder blades together. Palms together, shoulder blades together. Palms together, shoulder blades together. 3, 2, 1. Now palms together and pulse up. What surprises me how challenging it is. It gets right into those triceps. Keep squeezing. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Stretch those arms up. And we'll hinge forward as we fold. Coming into a flat back. Here again, you can start to move from side to side. If you want to add some Skandasana, you can hold one side for a breath or two, and then slide yourself over to the second side. And then the first side. Second side, nice. Draw yourself back to the front of the mat. And the hands step back. Downward facing dog. And inhale, come forward into plank. Lower all the way down. All right, moving towards upward facing bow. So let's just warm up the legs a little bit. You can do it one at a time. Draw the heel in towards the bum. You can draw the heel to the outside beside the bum. Again, here you want to press that pelvis down. So you'll notice as you try to press the pelvis down in this position, it's a bigger quad stretch. To the side as well. And then let's try to lift our head and shoulders off the floor as we bend the knees and we grab the tops of the feet. Press the heels away. Roll up. Now, if this doesn't work for you, you can do one leg at a time. Take a break. And if you're doing one leg, as you come back up, you'll do the second side. If you've got both legs that you're doing, then you just come out of it. Keep breathing. Pelvis is pressing into the mat, heart's reaching up and away. Exhale, come back down. And for those that were doing one, if you want to try both, try again, see if it worked. See if the opening made a difference. If not, just come back down. One more breath up here, and then exhale, release. Take your hands, just rest the forearms, your head on your forearms, and just winch away with the legs a little bit from side. Beautiful. We'll release our legs down, slide the hands back, press hands and knees, or maybe now hands and toes into the floor as we take a nice big inhale. And push the floor away from us as we lift up, downward facing dog. Beautiful. And take a nice big inhale with the heels. Exhale, bend
the knees, start to make your way back to the front back. Lengthen into a flat back. Exhale, fold. As you feel the four corners of your feet really move down, we'll start to rise up. Feeling that foundation be ever more present as we lift the arms up. Hands to the heart. Heart up into the hands as you inhale. Keep the heart lifted. Let's just release those hands, settling into our mountain poses. Feeling the strength and the power of this pose. A nice deep breath that you can have. Okay, and we're going to do one last set of standing poses or balance poses. So as we feel again the inseam of the left leg draw down, we'll lift that right leg up. And we're going to come towards dancer first. Yes, I like to add dancer now because I know you like it. So why wouldn't we do it if we like the pose? We want to do it. So try to keep those knees together. And just reach the heart up towards that hand in the air as you push the foot into the right hand. So notice here that as I reach the heart up, my knee's not splaying out to the side. I want to try to keep the legs tied together. If I'm going into like an upward facing bow, again, the knee's still back behind, not out to the side. So from here, we're going to inhale, come up, slide the hand back up the knee, like position number that we did before, and we're going to cross it over into the number 4 as we have a seat in Galavasana. Now here, as we pull that left shin back, and you try to level off your hips here, and if it feels okay, you can reach those arms up for like an Uttanasana in Galavasana. That hard, one more breath. And press into that left leg. The dismount is challenging, so make sure that you feel ready for it. I'm going to push into that left leg as we take that right leg up, give it a hug. Nice. And then once you feel ready, then try to reach that leg back down before you wobble all over the place. Let's move to the second side. Okay, so pressing down to the inseam of the right leg to lift that left leg up. And slide the hand down the leg and sweep it down and under. Then take that right arm up. Reach the heart forward, reach the leg back, press the foot into the hand. Try to keep the hips level. Try to keep the shoulders level. One more breath up here. And then on your next inhale, we'll slide that leg back up. Bring it across the right leg. Press out to the right, the left heel as we have a seat in our Galavasana. You're trying to keep the sole of the foot pretty flush with the outside of the right leg. Let's take those arms up now. Beautiful. And then pressing down to the inseam of the left leg. Inhale, lift up, take that leg with us. And back down, nice work. The feet. Once again, as we come into our mountain pose, just wait and feel that energy just dropping down to the soles and feet. We're going to walk our feet a little wide. We're going to come into a squat. So you can come down into a squat here. And if you have bad knees, you want to keep that, so that's enough. It feels okay to come lower. If you'd like a squat pose, you can come right down into one. And also, if you're getting tired, this is a good hack, because you're still getting the hip stretch, right? You're still getting that nice big deep crease. So here's a good place to kind of be in the pose without having to work for the pose. I find for this one, if I start to feel like shin splinty feelings, like that feeling of pressure building up here, then I will most certainly come and sit up on this. But since I don't today, I'm going to come in. I'm going to take that right hand to the floor
I'm gonna press the arm and leg towards each other and take that left arm on a diagonal, so it's opening up the chest here. And just notice the right shoulder is keeping that knee over the center of that right foot. If it feels available to you, you can turn that right thumb down, wrap the arm around, and see if you can bring the left arm to bind with the right one. Beautiful, we're gonna release that. And come back down and into Malasana. Start to move to the second side. We'll take that left arm down. Right arm reaches up and open. So really be mindful of the chest opening, not just pulling that arm back. And you'll feel the difference. Like eventually you feel the difference between overextending that shoulder. You can stay here, you can spin the left thumb down and around the back, and then that right arm comes and wraps and tries to grab. Again, keep the knee over the center, both knees over the center of the feet, open up. If the bind doesn't work, you can just hold on to your bum too. Excellent, we're gonna release that, come back and into Malasana one last time. So I think you guys are at the front of the mat, which is fine. If you're not, you can always hop your way up. Come through a little crow if you want. You make your way up to the front. But if you're already here, we'll do one last little kind of challenging pose here. We're going to lean ourselves forward and shoot our legs back coming into chaturanga. So I'm going to show you what that looks like to see if you want to try it. Basically, you just come forward and come down. Take the arms wide, roll up into cobra, and roll back down. Again, just trying to take a look at the time. Do we have time to do a little? No, okay, that's fine. And then let's stay up in a little Sphinx pose because I just want to get into that upper back a little bit more. So Sphinx is a really nice back bend because it's simple, it's resting, but it gives you the opportunity to really open up and move into the back of the heart. So once you get in there, and you can always, come up a little higher if you want, but see if you can find your way to breathe into the front of the chest and feel the energy of the breath moving out to the back. All right, slide the arms down, we're gonna roll over onto our side. We'll just take that right leg and draw it up. Stretch the right leg up towards the sky. We're gonna roll onto our backs. Slide that right foot into a thread the needle. And then holding on to the right ankle with the left hand, just drop the left foot towards the floor and take that leg all the way over to the left. If this is too far down, grab your block and just place your foot on the block. And then we'll reach the right arm over the head as we reach the right knee away. Take that right arm out to the side, take the left leg back up and just do a little windshield wipering. And you can drop both legs over towards the right now. Release the right foot from on top of the left knee, roll over onto your right side and take that other leg, right, left leg up. Roll the way up. Beautiful, we'll start to roll ourselves back onto our back, taking that foot into a thread the needle pose. Holding on to the left ankle now with the right hand, take that foot down either to your block or to the floor, and then reach arm and knee away from each other for a nice stretch. Beautiful, then we're gonna start to lift the legs back up, and we can do a little windshield wavering. We'll drop those legs over towards the left. Excellent, release that left foot now, a little windshield wavering from side to side. Let's take the thumbs and just kind of press them into the thigh bones, press the thigh bones away from the hip sockets and lengthen the pelvis. Feel the collarbones widen here. Beautiful. We're going to walk the soles of the feet together as we come into a bound angle. We'll slide our hands underneath our hips. Bend the elbows and just start to slide onto the top of the head, coming into a little fish pose to end off. Bringing the lower lip over the upper lip. Maybe silently screaming. Feeling the heart reach up and over. Nice big upper back stretch again into the neck. And then slowly coming back down. Nice work. Let's draw those knees together, draw them up towards your chest, give them a hug. A little bit of circling. Circle the other way. And then just plant the feet down. We'll lift the hips up about 2 inches to the right. Slide the left leg straight. Take that right knee to your chest. Feel the length from your big toe up to the crown of the head and the right shoulder on the floor as you start to bring that right knee over towards the left. Keep lengthening, find the spiral. As opposed to thinking about getting that knee to the floor, think about the spiral in the body. And then feel yourself breathing like you're a spiral. Excellent, let's come back through center. You can take that right foot into a little half happy baby, draw that knee down towards the floor. And take the left hand onto the left hip. Excellent. Place that foot on the floor so that we can lift our hips up, move them over through center to the left about 1 inch or 2. Slide that right leg straight. Grab hold of the left knee, lengthen, and spiral. Coming back through center, Take that foot up into a little happy baby. Press the right hip down. If you want to bring both legs up, just reshift yourself so that you're straight and you can come into the full happy baby. Excellent. And as you drop those legs down, give yourself one last nice stretch. If there's any last poses that you want to do before you make your way into Shavasana, it's a little yogi's choice of whatever you wish.
We're running a little late today. Excellent. Went a little longer than we usually do. Excellent. All right, so today's daily Om, I'll read it now because we are running a little late. It's called Life's Packaging. We've all had the experience of encountering someone whose life seems so different, completely different from our own, that we can almost imagine that we have absolutely nothing in common with them. However, if we go deeper into observing, we will see that we all have the same things going on in our lives. It's as if our different lives are in essence the same gift, wrapped in an infinite variety of containers, wrapping paper, ribbons, and bows. Everybody experiences loss, grief, happiness, excitement, anger, and fear. Everyone can have money issues of one kind or another, and everyone struggles with difficult choices. Our lives show up differently for each one of us because we each learn in different ways. One person may need to learn the value of money by having too little of it, while another may need to learn by having more than enough. We each learn about work and love with experiences that are tailored to our particular perspective. Even as it appears that some people have it easy while others are in continual states of struggle, the truth is that we're all learning, and it's very difficult to tell when looking only at the exterior of a person what's going on inside. This is one of the many things that can be so valuable about cultivating relationships with people from all walks of life. As we get to know those who seem so different from us, we get to really see how much of life's challenges and joys are universal. We begin to look beyond the packaging of skin color, clothing preferences, and socioeconomic differences, hairstyles, and the cars we drive, to the heart of the human experience. It's important to honor and value the differences in our packaging, but it's just as important to honor the gift of life inside each one of us. And the fact that no matter how different the packaging, the gift inside is the same. So, as we begin to deepen our breaths here, if you feel like you want to stay and enjoy a longer Shavasana, feel free. But if you're ready to move on, just, move and stretch in every way that feels good. Take a little bit of time on your side. And here, just settle in. We had a pretty strong practice, so just notice. Notice how you feel, notice your body, notice your mindset. Notice your energy level. When you feel ready to join us at the top of your mat, we can bring our hands together as we come to the end of our practice. Lift your heart up into your hand, feel the difference of those two poses. Here we can take a moment to offer some gratitude for all that we have on and off our mats, including the time to practice, including having each other, including having this technology. There's so many things that we can be grateful for. Aside from things on your mat, I want you to come up with about 1, 2, 3, 4 things off your mat that make your life so special, and let them also warm up your heart. Let's seal this practice in with the sound of 1 Om. Take a nice big inhale. Great big exhale through the mouth. Inhaling to Om. Feel that reverberation connect you a little deeper. We'll just do a little reminder that our thoughts should always be filtered through our hearts, so we bring our hands to physically represent our thoughts. And we bring them right back to where they belong. Namaste. Well, thank you. That was fun.